how has that changed now from the fact that you went from being a registered dietitian and now being involved in the integrative medicine world? It's a little bit different than the standard registered dietitian role, I would think. So can you talk to us a little bit about that? And like, how has that changed the way that you work with your clientele? What does that look like?
That's really important. I feel like, again, as an RD, there are still the old paradigm of thinking. And, there's RDs that are handing out a low sodium diet or a low fat diet or whatever, and not doing the connecting of the dots because it looks like you're coloring outside the lines. And this should have been a premonition to where I was going today, because in my internship, right, I was pulled onto the carpet and almost lost my position in my internship because a doctor had requested a consult, which I was instructed to go do. And I literally made a recommendation in the chart because I thought that that was what I was supposed to do. And I was almost expelled from the program because I made a recommendation that was in writing in a chart that now a doctor had to follow. Right. So there are, I do know that when I was at the family medicine residency program, my thinking was very progressive. There were a lot of old school physicians that were on faculty that didn't utilize my resources. They pretty much ignored me. There was a coup by the dietitian in food service wanting a dietitian under her purview in that position. And they weren't going to use any of the tools that I had brought to the program. And I was actually displaced. It was a political thing. So I got displaced there and the old paradigm came in. So there are some days that I'm very ashamed to say that I am a registered dietitian, because being so kind of pigeonholes you into what most people think of as a dietitian. And, I do a lot of, I look at the person in front of me. I work with what I have in front of me. And that may mean that I do some things that you wouldn't do as an RD. But to me, compliance is the key, right? So maybe the paradigm is to come in and do an elimination diet. But if all you can do is learn how to get rid of dairy, that's all you can do, right? Might not be the doctor's prescription, but it's better to have a can do than the person lose hope and throw up their hands and feel overwhelmed and abandon the whole process. Sometimes what I realize, I think it's really important, this is the first time in our history that the CDC, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, have come out and said that the life expectancy of the next generation is less. Every time before, generations are seeing greater and greater life expectancies. This is the first time ever. We have to look at the system. It is broken. We're not looking at total body burden, right? We're not looking at the toxic chemicals. We're drinking out of our designer coffees through the plastic lids, right? Thinking that we can cure our autoimmunity because we're doing everything right, but we don't look at our deodorants and our hair care products. And I hugged a man in my office the other day and I just about died. The fabric softeners on his clothes were just asphyxiating him. So sometimes what you got to do is you got to get people into, most people can't afford to throw everything out of their life. They can't get rid of the pots and pans and all the detergents. So you just get them doing one thing at a time. And, we have 133 million Americans suffering with at least one chronic illness. That's 45% of our population.
Yes.
We've got to make changes. So, so what I'm saying is, yes, I'm an RD. It opens the doors for me, but RDs are waking up. There's a lot of us that are waking up. That dietitians and integrative functional medicine practice group that I'm in, you have a lot of brilliant girls there, right? Where it's coming around. I'm getting dietetic interns from a local university here. The ones that express an interest in wanting to go into integrative or functional medicine, their program director gives them my name and my phone number, and I mentor these young women that are wanting to go in this arena. But I fear that at the core, the program really needs some ramping up and some real renovations to get the practitioners out there that really have the training. So a big reason why I hang out with the Institute of Functional Medicine is they are the cutting edge organization.